avian influenza is actually carried by wild bird feces. So one thing it's really important to do is never to carry in wild bird feces from your garden into your pet birds. Now, most of the time it's quite obvious when you see lumps of poo around, but actually sometimes the rain's half washed it in, there's only little bits that are invisible to the naked eye, but actually, the virus is still there. And I'm going to show you how to empty your coop by having a boot change. So it might be that you don't want to have disinfectant down at ground level, perhaps you've got young children or pets, so actually a much easier way is just have a boot change. So I want to enter these birds here. In here I've got a covered box that's rainproof, containing some garden clogs. So replace the lid, because you don't want any wild bird poo going into that box while you're inside. Open the coop, try not to let your birds escape, and change into them as you step in. That way, you've entered your coop without contaminating your shoes with any wild bird feces, and you're safe and compliant. So to set up a boot station, I would strongly advise that you don't just use a foot dip, as in a disinfectant foot dip, that you actually have a boot cleaning station first, because disinfectant is actually deactivated by organic matter. If you put lots of organic matter in there, it ain't going to clean it, and what it's going to do is only maybe even clean the surface of your boots here with the top of the mud. It's not going to get in underneath. And if one of these bits of mud falls off while you're in with your birds, then any flu virus that was actually sitting underneath is going to be goes directly to your birds. So I'd suggest you have a cleaning station first and then you boot dip. Now also, if you've got pets and young children around, you must have your containers covered as well. So I don't even think, this is just very liquid, but I don't even think this is particularly safe for wildlife dropping in. So I would have 2 nice covered boxes just like this, so you can't get wild bird feces dropping in there, and you can't have insects and things dying in there either. So these kind of containers are perfect, and it's big enough to get both your feet in. So I said this is just a water pre-cleaning solution with some very liquid in. Other brands exist, of course. And the next thing you're going to do is make up your disinfecting solution. Then you empty your sachet and pop it on top. If you put your sachet in the dry bucket and then blast the hose on it, it's going to aerosolise. You don't want to be breathing this kind of stuff in. Okay, so always shake the sachet onto the solution, onto the water you've placed in there, and you can always pick it up, put the lid on, a little bit of a shimmy wimmy to try and dissolve it all properly. Just said we need to make sure that we're not contaminating our foot dip, because disinfectants are deactivated by organic matter. So I'm going to come up to my birds. I've got my trusty brush here. I'm going to clean my boots with my lovely good clean all the way up here. Some very liquid. Make sure you get all those bits of mud off out of these crevices. Right, 1 foot done. Let's go for the other one. All the way up the welly. Right, so next stage is to use your disinfectant. So, the next thing you want to do is get rid of the excess water, because the last thing you want to do is add water to your solution that you just measured up. There we go. Wipe it up all the way up your wellies and out the back. There we go. Now if you can, you're best off stepping straight into your coop. Alright, here we go, shake the excess off and in. And if you've got pets and little young children around, then now is the time to cover up your solution to keep them safe. Now actually, this box could be improved. So I used it because it means that you can see the solution through the box. But, you know, it's got a clear lid and a clear sides. And that means the sun can actually, the disinfectant is exposed to the sun. And UV light also deactivates disinfectant as well as organic matter. So if you can, source a black box with a black lid, or put something over it, like put a sheet over it, tarp over it, something like that, just to keep it away from the sunlight, because that will deactivate your disinfectant as well. And quite often, if you read your instructions, it'll tell you when to refresh the solution. So it might be that the colour goes, that's the time to replace it, or it starts looking mucky, that's the time to replace it, okay? Adhere closely to those disinfectant instructions. That's what DEFRA have looked at to decide whether they're going to approve it or not. And that's how to get in safely into your coop.